Hi guys, it's me, Lisa, here with another video. Today is Thursday, January 15th, and I want to say welcome back to all my subbies, my previous people who have watched before, and want to say welcome to anybody new. I'm YarnYenta247 on Instagram and on YouTube. Oh, my glasses. And I am YarnYenta1 on Ravelry. So feel free to check me out if you want to follow me there or on Ravelry. So what's been happening? Well, not a lot of traveling news this week. We haven't been doing much. I told you last time that everybody was sick and getting over being sick, and so that kind of threw the work schedule off for my husband. So he's been working a lot, but we also had some snow. And yeah, it snowed for a couple of days, 2 or 3 days where the weather was not very cooperative for him, so he couldn't work. And for me, it was actually kind of nice because I got to do some knitting. I also binge watched some stuff on Netflix and listened to an audiobook. So I did get a bit done, which is why I kind of decided I was going to record today. So that's it for sort of the news around here. The weather looks like it's going to be improving the rest of the week. Today actually it's in the 50s, which is lovely, and we may go and do some traveling maybe over the weekend. So I will report back to you if we do anything or go anywhere. And I'm not really sure where. We've talked about maybe going to Taos. It's a few hour drive from here. We'll see. And I'll keep you posted. So what do I have done? I guess I'm just going to get right to the yarny stuff. Finished objects. I'm going to show you actually one that I did show you last week. It was a finished object last week, but I actually blocked it this week, and I'm really proud of it because it looks so much even better blocked. So I'm going to show this to you again. Sorry for repeating myself, but boy, blocking makes a difference, I'll have to say. And blocking in an RV is not an easy task because I don't have a big space to block. So I actually brought this to my friends and stretched it out on her tables, and I steamed it, and I think it just came out so pretty. You can really see the beautiful lace pattern now. It opened up the stitches and evened them out, and I love it. It's the Old Flame scarf. It was done in Misty Alpaca in the Copper Penny colorway. Love this yarn. It's beautiful, tonal, appropriate color for the name of the scarf. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about that scarf and the pattern. It's made by, I wrote it down because I wanted to mention it, Chris Basta, and you can know I try to do my Ravelry projects page. I try to keep up on that now, and that's where you can go if you want to see the projects that I've been showing or talking about. So Chris Basta, I hope that's how she pronounces her name. I love her patterns. I've made 2 other patterns of hers. The Gallatin scarf, which Emily, crochet.knit, and Jen from Beer Knits podcast, Jen Loves Yarn, they're both doing the Gallatin scarf, and I've actually made a couple of those and given them away. I love them. They're beautiful. You can see them on my projects page, and they're very easy. They're fun. Her patterns are just fun. I like that sort of elongated, symmetrical with the points that you can wrap around and have the 2 ends hanging. I love that kind of design, and her patterns are just pretty. They're fun. And the other one I've done by her is the Madison. She's got a whole series: Jefferson, Madison, Gallatin. They're all fairly similar construction. And then I'm probably thinking about doing another one of hers called the Definitely Diagonal. Not sure when, but that's on my queue of another one. And I have a skein of yarn that I'm thinking about using that with. So check her out. She's great. Those patterns are free. She does have some pay for patterns as well, but those are the ones that I've used. So that's one finished object. Now, okay, this should be a drum roll because I've been talking about this. You guys are probably sick of hearing about it. I've been posting about it. I finished the husband's Christmas socks. Yay. Here we go. Okay. There they are. This was done in the Peyton Croix sock. I don't know if I still have the label in here. Let me see if I do. I may have taken the label out. I think I took the label out. No, here it is. Okay, and it's the gray-brown marble. Okay, and it's the Peyton sock yarn. I love it. I love the way it stripes. Great. And they're done. And as you can see, my husband, well, he wanted a longer leg and cuff. So, you know, that was, I did a longer leg and cuff. But he's got this humongous foot, okay? It's like 11 inches. So it took a while. I did my usual. It's a vanilla sock, afterthought heel, which I really love. They're done a lot quicker than the Father's Day socks, and he's very anxious to have them, and I told him as soon as I recorded, I would let him have them. So, yay! Socks done! So happy to get those done. Okay. One other finished object. I'm doing the 2015 blanket along with Brownie Knits, and the first square, it's 1 square a month for 12 months, and the first square for January. Here it is, done. Can you see that? I'll hold it back here. It's a slant. I think it's called the slant pattern or something like that. Sorry, Gina, if I didn't remember. Loved it. It was a lot of fun. Okay, but now, you can't really, maybe don't really know the size. It's supposed to be 12 inches. Mine's bigger. It's 14 inches on size 5 needles. Okay? 5s. 14 inches. I have a real issue with gauge. Really, I think I knew I was going to go down a needle size anyway because I am a loose knitter, so I tend to go down a needle size or 2 from the recommended. So that being said, I started with a 7. That was still too big. Went to a 6. That was still too big. So I said I kept going with the 6. I had a little bit of a conversation with Gina, and she said she would help me modify it if I just wanted to keep the bigger square, and I thought that was fine. But then I had to take it out because it just wasn't, I made a mistake I don't know, I took it out to start over again. I thought, let me go down a needle size. Since I have to start again, I might as well. I still got the same gauge. It's still going to be 14 inches. It was 14 inches. So, and I'm not going down another needle size. I'm just not going to do it. And I don't know. I'm a loose knitter. I tried to tighten my tension up, but then it's not fun because then you're just like, I don't want to knit like this. Knitting is supposed to be fun and relaxing. I guess I'm just going to have to deal with the fact that I have a larger gauge and that I have to use a smaller needle, but how much smaller? I'm not going to go down. I wasn't going to go down another needle size or 2 for this. I just wasn't going to do that. I like the fabric that it was coming out as. So that being said, obviously this I can adjust. It's not a real problem. The problem comes in when you're trying to do a garment, which I really want to make a sweater. And I made one years ago when I first started learning how to knit. I didn't like it. It was made out of beautiful Cascade 220 yarn, and I spent a lot of money on it, and it was a top-up percentage sweater, which is a good method for me, obviously, since you go the percentage sweater, you base it on your actual gauge, which is a good thing. But anyway, it just didn't look right. I didn't like it. Didn't even wear it around the house. I ended up felting it, cutting it up, and making it into a tote bag, which I used for a couple of years. So that, at least I got good use out of it, but since then, I haven't made a sweater. And I really want to make a sweater. So I don't know. I have to do a lot of math, I've decided, when I do sweaters. I'm going to probably make a percentage sweater at another time, but that's not the sweater I cast it on. So I guess we can get on to whips, because that sort of leads into what I did cast on, which was the $5 in Paris sweater. Finally, I've been wanting to do this for quite a while, and here's the pattern. Some other people out there, hi guys, you know who you are, have done this sweater and kind of like, I want to make this. The sizes that she gives, I'm a little bit bigger, so I had to do a little bit of the math. I did actually, for the first time, because most of the time when I do things, I don't usually swatch. I don't usually make things that require that specific a gauge, except for like the blanket. But then again, it's easily adjusted. It's not a garment, so if it's not quite the right gauge, I'm looking for the swatch that I actually made, which I can't find. Oh, here it is. So this time I want to do it right because I want it to fit. It's my first sweater, and I just want to be able to really enjoy it and be proud of it and wear it. So I did that. I swatched. I went down at 2 needle sizes from the pattern to a size 6, thinking maybe that would be a good gauge. And here's my swatch. I blocked it. I did the whole thing you're supposed to. And my gauge is still bigger. So I basically decided I liked the fabric, I liked the way it was coming out. I'm going to use those needles, and I used my gauge. I have an app that helps you adjust your cast-on stitches from a pattern based on your gauge and their gauge. So I used that, but I also had to do other math because it still wasn't totally right. What did I end up doing? I cast it on the size for the large with my gauge, which actually, based on the math that I figured out, comes out to be about between a 1X and a 2X, which I'm thinking will be the right size for me. And this sweater, because it's top down, and she suggests you try it on as you go, so I'm going to definitely do that to sort of hope that the fit. This is a much more form-fitting fit than I will do. I like my sweaters a little bit looser, so I'm hoping that I can make those adjustments. So I'm doing it, I think I showed you last time, I'm not sure, but in the Karen Simply Soft, in the Charcoal Heather as my main color, and this is the complementary color, contrasting color. It's Ocean. It's kind of coming out a little bluer than it is. It's like a bluey, tealy, I don't know. It's a very pretty blue. So I'll show you how much I've gotten done. That's one thing. Of course, I've just dropped all my stitches, which I will have to fix after the recording because they're coming off the needle, but I'm not going to worry about it right now. So that's how much I've gotten done. I'm at the point where I need to change to the new color and add the new color on and start some increases around the shoulder area. So I have to sit down and kind of read the pattern a little bit and think about it, and I haven't wanted to do that, so I will work on that later. But that's what I've gotten done from the $5 in Paris sweater. What else have I casted on? Okay, I've also, this was another, okay, I watch you everybody, I get so inspired by things you do, and so I'm so influenced by what you guys are doing. I cast on another hitchhiker because I saw some of you on Instagram, and again, you know who you are. I was seeing your pictures of your hitchhikers, and I love making my hitchhiker. I love the pattern. I loved how it was coming out, and I'm like, I've had some yarn that I kept thinking was going to make a nice hitchhiker, and I said, I'm gonna cast it on, even though I had some other projects. I'm gonna do it, and I did. So I'll show you. This is how much I've gotten done. Okay, it's not that much. You know, I have no rush. I do this sort of when I feel like it. I love the pattern. You know, it's one of those, again, potato chip. I call it potato chip knitting because you just want to keep going. I'm like, I'm just going to do one point, and then you get to the one tooth or whatever, and I'm like, oh, I'll do another one, and that's 8 more rows. And sometimes I'll sit there and do 3 or 4, and sometimes I've only done 1 and put it away. This is the yarn I'm using. It's the okay, so I'm saying it's Noro. I got it at Joann's. It was in a Mill-Ends bag. I'm still not sure if that's what it is, but I think it is. It's definitely animal fiber because you can pull it, apart. It breaks. You don't have to cut it. So there's no nylon or acrylic in it. There is some veg matter, and some of you have told me that would be another indication. And I've looked up the colors, and it seemed like it was a similar color for that. So I'm going to say it is. And it's fun, and it's really pretty, and I have a whole bag of it, and hopefully I'll have enough to make a nice size hitchhiker. Making these, I'm using my Nova, my Knitter's Pride, interchangeable. I got a combi set. It came with 3 needle points, 3 different ones, and cords. The bamboo, the cubics, and the Nova. I like these. These are cool. It's 2.5 millimeter. I like these. They're nice. Nice smooth pointy tip and a little bit slippery and slick on the tip, but then this part here, the shaft part, is a different material and it grips a little better, so not so slippery as when it's all metal. So that's my hitchhiker, and like I said, there's no rush, and I enjoy that pattern a lot. And last but not least of my whips is my Color Affection. This was gifted to me by Erin, Gimme Yarn 418. Thanks, Erin. And we decided to do an informal knit along together. She posted a thread on her Ravelry group. Thank God it's finished. So join in if you want, or just come and check it out. It's called Just for Fun, Color Affection, I think is the name of the thread. And we both cast it on yesterday. And we're both, the reason we kind of decided is because we both have this wool ache, and we've been talking about wool ache and trying to get every color and how much we love it. So this pattern seemed like a good one to use it with. And you may have seen my pictures of my yarn elsewhere, but I'll show you again. I'm using the charcoal as my main color, and the rose as the second color, and the mauve as my third color. So these are my 3 colors for that. When I started the pattern last night, I wasn't thrilled because it was a little frustrating for me. It uses make 1 left and make 1 right increases, and I hate those increases. I just have a really hard time with them. I find them very fiddly, and I never remember how to do them. You know, one, you lift the bar in between the stitches if you don't know the increase, and then you put it on your needle either from front to back or back to front, and then whichever way you're leaning, left or right, you knit into the back of the stitch or the front of the stitch. It's a little complicated, and it's not something for me intuitively that I remember. So I have my little cheat sheets here, which I refer to pretty much every single time I have to do the increase. Now, when you first start out with this pattern, you 5 stitches, so you're increasing with these make 1s a lot until you get a longer amount of stitches on your needle, where then you increase, you knit for a while, you increase. So I finally did get to the point where I was enjoying it, but it took a little while to get there. And I'll show you where I am and how far I've gotten. It's this way, I guess, is the top. So I've gotten about 7 repeats of the first 4-row repeat with the main color done. And now that I've gotten to where I'm knitting more and increasing, you know, on either end just a little bit, it's gotten much more enjoyable. And again, it's sort of that potato chip thing because it's a 4 pattern repeat, and so it's kind of like, okay, I did 4 rows, I'm going to do another 4, and I like to do the whole repeat before I stop because it makes it easier, obviously, to pick it up the next time. So I try to get through the whole repeat before I take a break or put it away. So anyway, and I'm getting better with the increases. They're not as bad, but I still have to look every time because I just can't seem to remember which goes which. Maybe by the time I finish this shawl, I will know that, and maybe that's the reason I should be doing this, so that those increases will be more intuitive. I mean, when I do this kind of knitting, I like, you know, it's a 4 pattern repeat, so you can kind of memorize it after a while, but I can't because I'm constantly needing to refer back to how the increases are made. So I don't know how any of you feel about these. Have you done this increase? Do you have any opinions on it? I don't know. Not my favorite. But it is a nice increase because, you know, if you're wanting, you know, for this, especially this kind of a project, you're wanting the increases to kind of go out in the right direction, left direction. And it's a fairly hidden one, so it's not as obvious. So I don't know. Any substitutes? Do you know of any that might be better, that are similar in that way? I'm going to plug away, but I am enjoying it now, so come join us. I put a hashtag on Instagram, and like I said, Erin's got it in her group. So it's fun. Okay, so now for the final, actually this is not a whip, but since I did finish my socks, guess what? I get to open my first box from my personal sock club. And some of you said definitely open it on camera, so here we go. I'm opening it on camera. I have them all in a bag, and I just picked out a box randomly from the bag. I don't know. Obviously, I put them in the boxes, mixed them all up. I have no idea. So I'm going to open my box. Here it is. And I did just open the flap because, you know, I want to make sure it would be easy and I wouldn't need like a scissor or anything. Okay. So here we go. Ready? Drum roll. No. Okay. Yay! Ooh, I love it. Love it, love it, love it. This is the wool free sock yarn from Premier. I ordered this from Joann's online. I've never seen this before, never tried it. It's very soft and a sort of stretchy, like a kind of elasticy stretchy. And this is, I think it's the, I think, is this the one? Grand Canyon. This is the Grand Canyon colorway. Yay! So this is going to be my first pair of socks for January. I don't know if it's going to be a monthly thing. Like I said, it's just going to basically be once I finish a pair, then I'll pick another pair. So we'll see how long it takes me to make these. I think I'm going to try a pattern this time, and I did actually pull a couple of patterns just to have to look at instead of just doing my usual vanilla sock pattern. I might try the vanilla latte. Can you see that? The vanilla latte. And it's a free pattern on Ravelry by Virginia Rose Jeans. And I may try that with this. I'm not sure yet. The other one which I purchased when Emily Estrada, she's from Fiber Towns and podcast, I purchased her leather sock pattern. She was having her sale. And I might try that one. I don't have a picture, but that's called Leather Sock. So you should check her out. She's got a great podcast. I like her a lot. I like what she does. So I may try that one. She does this heel bottom gusset, which I've never tried before, and it sounds really interesting, and she really swears by it. It's one of her favorites, so I might give that a try. I'll let you know, keep you posted. That'll be next time. You'll know which ones. I'll probably put it on Instagram and all that when I decide what pattern. Okay, what else? The other thing I'm going to cast on for up and coming is a hat. I really want to do more hats for charity. My husband's been bugging me about a hat, so I'm not sure if this is going to be for him or for charity. But I'm with the socks, I'm going to try to keep a hat going all the time if I can. Like when I'm going to start one, finish it, and then hopefully cast on another one. I've got a bunch of patterns that I've put in my library. So I did print out 2 patterns today because I think I'm going to pick one of these, and one is the Bankhead. It's also a free pattern on Ravelry. Looks really interesting. It's not totally boring. Looks like it might be fun. And the other one is the regular dyed beanie. I think a lot of you guys have made that one, and that's a pretty basic, easy pattern. So I'm not sure which one of those. Stay tuned. You'll know either on Instagram maybe or next time I record. And I'm going to use this as the yarn. It's a green, like a lettuce color. It's soft. It's just acrylic. I don't know the brand or the blue. So I'm not sure yet. One of those is going to end up being a hat with one of those patterns. Don't know which one yet. Surprise, I guess. All right. And there's a couple of other things I'm going to be working on. With the loops and threads, this is the Charisma in the Northern Lights colorway. I got an order. It's not really. I mean, my friend's cousin wanted me to make a chain scarf as a gift that she's going to give to her kid's Hebrew school teacher. So she asked me the other day if I would make one of those for her, and it's actually something that she gives me a little bit of money for the yarn and, postage and all that. So I'm going to start that. That's a crochet project. So that's going to be started very soon because I want to get this out to her. It doesn't take me very long. And then I think I'm going to maybe do some dishcloths because I only have one and I love it and I want more. And I do have some yarn or cotton. So I'm going to probably do that. I don't know if it's just going to be a basic, the everyday grandma's favorite one that I usually do or a different pattern. I haven't decided, but I'm definitely going to probably do that. I think that's it for the knitting stuff. So the other thing, like I was just saying real quick, was I have been listening to audiobooks while I knit because it's been great to be able to do that and still knit, and I love reading, so it's a great way to combine the two. And I listened to Silkworm by, it's Robert Galbraith, but it's actually J.K. Rowling's pen name for her books of Harry Potter fame. If you guys, I'm sure you know her. I love Harry Potter. We're big Harry Potter fans here. I loved the books. We read them many times, listened to them on tape on long trips. Very much favorites in our house. not so much a big fan of this book series. This is the second in the one before I was Cuckoo's Calling. Same character. It's about a private detective. And it was okay. It was kind of boring. She writes, actually love the way she writes, I have to say. Even though the story itself was kind of boring, her writing is really, I love her writing. But the story itself was not all that exciting. I did finish it. It was borrowed from the library, downloaded, and so after 2 weeks they take it away. So I had to kind of binge that one night to finish it because I felt committed to doing that. And the other thing I'm reading on my Kindle is The Raven Boys, and that's sort of a supernatural paranormal, and it's a YA book. It's okay. It's starting to get a little more interesting. I'm like 60% done. You can't do pages on the Kindle. It's a percentage. So I'm 60% done with that, and it's okay. Like I said, it's picking up, and I actually was just notified today that the audiobook is available for me to borrow, and so I may finish it up with the audiobook while I knit or crochet, because I have lots of that to do today. The other book that I actually got was The Book of Tomorrow by Cynthia Ahern, and I just started listening to that only, a few minutes. I haven't even gotten that far into it. Seems like it would be interesting. So that's my other audiobook that I'm listening to. What do you guys out there? Do you guys read? Do you listen to audiobooks while you're crafting? Let me know. I'd love to hear what you're reading about, and if you want to have more discussions about that kind of stuff. I'm trying to do 2 books a month. I have a Goodreads challenge for that. We'll see how that goes. The other thing I was doing, which I mentioned briefly, is binge on Netflix. Okay, so I came on late in the game for Sons of Anarchy, but I got hooked really fast. There are 6 seasons available on Netflix. The newest season is not, and I am now on season 5. Probably within a week, maybe. The first 2 seasons, I just couldn't stop. I was just watched every episode one after the other for hours straight. Loved it. Thought it was very gripping. It's a really good series if any of you are aware of it. But third, fourth season, I don't know. It's still really good and gripping, and I'm still really enjoying it, and I'm definitely addicted but not as much. I'm finding it a little bit more violent and gory, and not as compelling storylines as the first 2 seasons were. So anyway, that's what I've been binge watching. So I'm always looking for anything new. If anybody's gotten some new series that I could binge watch, please suggest them to me. I was watching, I can't remember the podcast, but they mentioned Miss Fisher. I think that's on Netflix, so I may have to check that out. So that's it. I think I'm done. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you're having a great week and having lots of good crafting time. And I will be back soon. Happy crafting.